İclal Nergis won't get closer than a few hundred meters to her former workplace, a massive state hospital on the outskirts of Istanbul. She was a social worker there. Earlier this year, she was moved from here against her will after she went public with one of Turkey's worst social scandals to date. The year before, hundreds of underage girls had given birth here.
In just 5 months, around 300 underage girls passed through the maternity ward. 115 of them were not reported to the authorities as required by law. For 2 months, I kept going to the clinic directors and reminding them that these pregnancies had to be reported. But every time, they threw me out of the office and bullied me.
This is a list of the 115 unreported girls who delivered in this hospital alone. Many were under 15 years of age. The Istanbul public prosecutor launched investigations into the reported cases. Normally in Turkey, underage pregnancies must be investigated by the public prosecutor. But women's organizations claim that quite often they are not, even in cases with evidence of rape or illegal underage marriages. Such crimes are often committed in schools and religious boarding schools. Deutsche Welle requested an interview with a government representative, but received no answer. Under pressure from the public, the government announced tougher sentences for pedophiles and rapists. On television, Deputy Prime Minister Recep Akta even proposed castrating the perpetrators. But in practice, this woman maintains, the authorities often look the other way. Her own daughter was secretly abused by a relative from a very young age.
We got no help of any kind from the authorities. Neither legal advice nor psychological counselling for our traumatised daughter. We were left completely on our own, and now I ask the politicians, why does someone who's raped a child under 12 years of age get up to 40 years in prison, but someone who's raped a 13-year-old gets at most 5 years?
Many Turks doubt their government is serious about combating child abuse. When the state religious authority wrote that even 9-year-old girls were eligible to be married, protests came pouring in. The article containing the statement quickly vanished. İclal Nergis knows all too well that many people in Turkey still have that kind of mindset. She travels around the country educating and warning. She doesn't regret going public about the teen pregnancies.
I know that after I published my information, the health minister called upon the hospitals to pay more attention to pregnancies in girls under 18. That only proves that a problem does exist that they can't ignore any longer. So why should I regret anything?
Don't look away when children are abused or forced into marriage. That's the message Nergis has for listeners all across Turkey. For these aspiring nurses and social workers, for example. She explains the laws and gives advice on how to help those in need. Some people blame the many teen pregnancies on the more than 3.5 million Syrian refugees in Turkey.
On my maternity ward, I mostly had to do with underage Syrians. I was hoping for some help on how to deal with it.
Whether Syrians or Turks, İclal Nergis sees the struggle against child abuse in Turkey as the responsibility of society as a whole.
Even if only 1 in 100 ends up saying she's going to fight it, that would be fabulous.
But many more in the audience may very well be inspired to take action against child abuse, even if they'll be risking their jobs, as did İclal Nergis.